Yeah, I'm tired. I just tirade and hope everybody got that. And happy birthday to Courtney's mother from your old pal Uncle Al. Now, I move my glasses because I've been looking around. Still got to pay that bill. Wonderful. They're still billing me because, yeah, but are you going to pay it all one time? No, I'm going to pay it $25 every month. You dropped me the last time. And this is for Mama Bear's Prepping. This BR is for Mama's Bear Prepping. Okay? Off the Grid Living by Dave Black. Okay? And this is published by Skyhorse Publication. It's a very good book. And will tell you everything you want to know if you want to live in a little homestead. Now you got to remember, folks, this covers grid shelters, temporary shelter, you know, if you have to do conservation of hot water and stuff, I recommend this. Another trick I'll be doing on failures of the Texas snowstorm or snowpocalypse part 1. I'll be covering a lot of this, but most of the information is in this book by Dave Black. Okay? This one, this should have been read by everybody who lives in an apartment building in a big industrial city or big X city. You should have read this. Now, me and Hubble's Cat and a few other channels last year or year before, we went over this book over and over. Okay? And this guy has his own YouTube. Now think, a lot of people are not built up for apartment survival. Oh, they say, oh, we got a fireplace. It's a gas fireplace and you can't burn wood in it. And they're looking at me, but it'll work in a power outage. Yes and no. Some buildings will not click on because they'll shut off the gas because these things are electronically controlled. How are you going to start it? That was my big argument with my brother-in-law. His fireplace, we have a little knob and I could reach in and light it with a long handle match thing, you know, piezoelectric lighter. That worked. And it does produce heat. I told him it's not very efficient. You have to think about something else. I could disconnect that line into a small gas range that's set up and they'll work. Okay, so we have 2 areas we could cook. And I got another 2 ovens in his garage. And he's kind of like, why do you have ovens in the garage? Because it's a lot safer than the ones you want. We can't pull it out until next year, which we're doing this year. Uncle Alan's tired and he's busy, and I got a lot of things I gotta do. Okay? So I hope those 2 will help you out. Now we're going to get into something special. Oh, this is why Uncle Alan's screaming all the time. Okay, folks, I showed you this earlier. Take a good look. Okay, it's by Tyler Woods, the 11th Hour Preparedness book. We are in the 11th hour. Okay, if you haven't got this, see, you only have 1 hour until doomsday. If you haven't got this, you have 6 weeks. During that 6 weeks, there's a lot of things you can't pick up because our screwy government and the Democrats and the Chads and Karens are out there running around screaming their heads off, not helping anybody, and creating trouble. Like this one lady who tried to get onto a base in Idaho. It was a cat base. Lucky she wasn't going on to a SAC base, or she'll be either arrested, charged, her lawyers will be arrested, charged, kids taken away, her baby taken away, and you'll see her in Anchorage. You do not run a cat base. Bob will testify. Bob Bob 942. Go check out his channel. You do not run the gate, the main gate, at a base. We will put up the barriers, we will stop you, we will bash out your window and drag you out. But we always say please, and we say please nicely. And we will say to that person, you have violated federal law. Because once you pass, if you're outside that state, once you're on federal property, that's federal reservation, all state laws end there. You show IDs, 3 IDs no longer valid. You're trying to get stuff, you just divorced your husband, you could go through baselines and talk to the chaplain and they'll get your stuff. You're no longer safely on the base. It's a civil matter. If TAC Command pushes it, you're looking at 10 years. Now right now, I talked to my friends who still works in law enforcement, LE, they're not pressing charges. And she's trying to get her lawyers to press charges. Now the lawyers will get, in within a month, a letter of cease and desist. All right? And they will give a 2-page written outline that says you cannot come on a federal reservation, Naval, Air Force, Marines, Army, and with a civil matter. You have to go through proper channels. This lady ran through the main gate. Now if they press charges, she's in a boatload of trouble, and so are her lawyers. So they're going to get that letter of cease and resist. Stop it. They're going to tell her, and they're going to charge her maybe $20,000 because she's stupid as hell and she's acting like a Karen. When you act like a Karen, you're going to pay for a Karen. She is very lucky that they're not pressing charges. They're not taking away her newborn. They're not taking away her kids and sending her up to Anchorage. Okay? Anybody else stupid enough to do that, if it was a SAC base, you'll never hear them. They'll be in Leavenworth, because I remember my old SAC days in the early 80s and 70s. Some joker, 2 old ladies, went up a flight line, went on the flight line, headed to a weapons storage area, and everybody freaked out. They got their windows smashed out, they're dragged out of the car, hogtied, and everybody went ballistic when they opened the trunk. And they saw shotguns and a box of dynamite. So what do you think is going to happen to those people? It took them about 2 weeks with the FBI and the OSI to clear them. They were getting lost, and they borrowed their nephew's car. And they thought this was part of some kind of highway. And we're all looking like, how the hell these idiots got onto a SAC base? And we found out. One of the maintenance crews around the base left the rear gates open with no guard and told nobody so they could do fence work and maintenance work. So these 2 little ladies driving up with a caseload of dynamites and shotguns into a heavily security area, that freaked a lot of people out. It was in a lot of papers, and we got laughed at because they were drawing, never forget that. Everybody's laughing their heads off. So what we did was we shut down all buses going on to the base. All civilian traffic was heavily controlled after that. We have no sense of humor. Okay, after that incident, we had double security, and I didn't sleep because we went from 8-hour shift to 12-hour shifts. And I did all the paperwork. And you want to see somebody's mad and just got a staff sergeant stripes? Okay? We are not kidding. Do not do stupid things. Think, people. Stop being a Karen or a Chad. Alright? Because a lot of people don't understand what's going on. You won't find this anywhere. Last I heard of it is about $900 for this handbook on Amazon. I wish they reprint this book so it's cheaper. It's full of good ideas. And it'll tell you all sorts of good things to know. Camp stove, grow food in pots, Weber charcoal grill. Simple stuff, not rocket science. $947. Go look it up on Amazon. That's that guy right there. Okay? Jill got it, I got it, and I think Dave got it too. Okay, back to basics. Now, Tasha of Mamabear Prepping, you could check out this book from the public library, or you can find it at bookstores. Okay, this is what you really need if you're going to homestead, because hell in the first 2 years is homestead. All right, take a good look from Reader's Digest. And I'll catch you folks later. I'll see you later. I hope this helps out. This is a book review for Mamabear's Prepping. You have a nice night.